We have seen crackdowns on driving while drunk or driving under the influence of drugs, but now there's a new threat on the road. Drivers high on nitrous oxide behind the wheel. Stephanie Stanton is here with more on the dangers of so-called laughing gas. Not a laughing matter.
Yeah,
Stephanie.
absolutely not. Christine and Jeff, law enforcement officers tell me that it is becoming a huge problem. Young people are buying laughing gas, inhaling it, and getting behind the wheel. In fact, in the Inland Empire, there have been 15 accidents involving the use of nitrous oxide, or NOS as it's called, in the past 6 months alone. And for one Rialto City Councilman, the issue has hit too close to home.
It is the most devastating thing that you could ever imagine.
A parent's worst nightmare, losing their child. Rialto City Council member Ed Scott is living that nightmare each and every day.
To have to bury your son before you bury yourself, and to have to bury your son in your grave is horrifying.
Scott's 17-year-old son Eddie was a passenger in a car back in June of 2014. He and the driver were using nitrous oxide, or NOS.
The driver passed out, went off the 10 freeway, hit a tree, and it killed my son.
Law enforcement officers in the Inland Empire point to a growing trend. Teens and young people getting high on nitrous oxide and getting behind the wheel.
These kids are blacking out. They're dying. They're dying from the explosions of the NOS tanks. They're dying from huffing this while driving. And, these kids don't realize the significance of what this is doing.
In the past 6 months, 15 crashes have been linked to NOS, including this one on August 12th in Rialto that injured 3 people. Officials are doing what they can to crack down on the sale and distribution of NOS. On Friday, our cameras tagged along when Rialto police raided RCO Auto Repair in nearby Fontana for illegally selling laughing gas.
We believe through this owner's ignorance, his stupidity, and his greed that he is indirectly involved in several of the fatalities that have occurred here in San Bernardino County.
Fatalities including Ed Scott's son, who, according to the councilman, purchased NOS at RCO just a few days before his death. And while selling NOS to minors is illegal, it isn't a felony. Law enforcement is working to change that.
It's a misdemeanor right now, but we want to work on some state legislation. We want to work with organizations like Mothers Against Drunk Driving to make this a felony.
And Councilman Ed Scott is working too. He's on a personal mission to toughen laws on possession and sale of nitrous oxide. For him, there was simply no choice.
I have to make a difference. Excuse me. I have to do it for my son. And I have to do it for other parents out there who have kids that could lose good kids.
Now, Ed Scott is speaking with lawmakers in Sacramento to try to impose stiffer penalties for those selling and using NOS for personal use. As for that business that you saw there that was raided on Friday, Rialto police tell me that more charges are expected. Jeff, Christine.
All right, Stephanie.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Thanks.